you know, in 20th century, composers started to realize that they could do a lot, be very productive with little means in terms of how many instruments they would use. So the Lighthouse is a perfect example of this very full orchestration and very varied and very rich with less instruments. So it's less costly, and it actually permits us to produce an opera in the Wyly, for example, in smaller places. So it's actually a chamber, yes, because it's of the numbers, but not necessarily because of the sound.
It's tough, right?
It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to learn. I mean, people seem surprised because they think, because I do so much contemporary opera and I love it, they think that, you know, it's all difficult, and it isn't all this difficult. This is really difficult.
Yeah.
But this guy's British, he's not American.
And you're, because it's British difficult.
Yeah, they make it harder.
You're pulling pitches just out of the air.
Or other parts of my anatomy, yes. Yes, it's, no, it's odd because the more you study it, and it's particularly with the orchestration, he does plant clues here and there, but sometimes, sometimes they're, you know, several bars before you, and sometimes they're just handed to you. And then another thing that's really disturbing is, so often with my character, I end on a pitch, and the orchestra enters the next bar a half a step lower, half steps higher, so that, you know, it sounds like I was wrong, except of course that's the way he wrote it.
Wow.
So now is only time, that's no ice.
Some scales are almost unplayable regardless of the instrument on this. I think Peter Maxwell Davies was going for effect on a lot of it, and just the creation of sound, and creating a sound world that elicits an emotional reaction and furthers the drama, and the individual notes aren't necessarily important.
It's interesting, once you really let yourself go into the piece rather than being uncomfortable with it, just letting yourself listen to it, you start to realize there are beautiful melodies that are in the voices, but also in the orchestra accompanying, paralleling the voices. So there are aspects of lyricism too.
Relief will be here any day now. It must be. It's been longer than ever before. The storm is getting worse. There it is again! By the door! It's only a heap of oil skins. No, it's getting up, rising from the floor. It's coming in, it's moving in. Close! No, can't look, I won't look.
And there's a lot of percussion in here. How do you begin to approximate that?
You know, some
Even
of it,
a police whistle?
Yeah, the police whistle. You know, things like that. Sometimes we'll just bellow it out. Like I was even doing it today. There's a place where there's maraca, so I would just be like, so you know that beat is maraca.
Yeah, he writes X's on a lot of notes to indicate that he doesn't need it to be purely pitched.
Thank heaven.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're doing a mad scene, like we each have a kind of a mad scene. We
Yes.
have X's on some of the pitches.
Right. And some of this is just written like up,
Oh,
like as
it's
far
a 4
as
octave range.
as far as you can go
octaves.
without even a note. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
You have to go,
all
that
the way
kind of
up.
stuff. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yes.